bloody office of his timeless end. Then set before my face the Lord Aumerle.
Cousin, stand forth and look upon that man.
My Lord Aumerle, I know your daring tongue scorns to unsay what once hath delivered. In that dead time when Gloucester's death was plotted, I heard you say, is not mine arm of leather, that reaches from the restful English court as far as Calais to mine uncle's head. Amongst much other talk that very time, I heard you say you had rather refuse the offer of 100,000 crowns than Bolingbroke's return to England, adding withal how blessed this land would be in this, your cousin's death.
Princes and noble lords, what answer shall I make to this base man? Shall I so much dishonor my fair stars on equal terms to give him chastisement? Either I must, or have mine honor soiled by the attainder of his slanderous lips. There's my gage, the manual seal of death that marks thee out for hell. I say thou liest, and will maintain what thou hast said is false in thy heart blood, though being all too base to stain the temper of my knightly sword.
Bagot, forbear, thou shalt not take it up.
Excepting one, I would he were the best in all this presence that hath moved me so.
If that thy valor stand on sympathy, there is my gage, Aumerle, gage thine. By that fair sun which shows me where thou standest, I heard thee say, and vaunted me, thou spakest it, that thou wert the cause of noble Gloucester's death. Thou deniest it 20 times, thou liest, and I shall turn thy falsehood to thy heart where it was forged, with my rapier's point.
Thou darest not, coward, live to see that day.
No, by my soul, I would have risen an hour.
Fitzwater, thou art doomed to hell for me.
Aumerle, thou liest. His honor is as true in this appeal as thou art all unjust. And that thou art so, there I throw my gage, to prove it on me to the extremest point of mortal breathing. Seize it if thou darest.
Then if I do not, may my hands rot off, and never brandish more revengeful steel or the glittering helmet of my foe. By heaven, I'll throw it all! I have 1,000 spirits in one such breast to answer 20,000 such as you.
My lord Fitzwater, I do remember well the very time Aumerle you did talk.
'Tis very true, you were in presence then, and can attest with me this is true.
As false, by heaven, as heaven itself is true.
Surrey, thou liest.
Dishonorable boy, that lie shall lie so heavy on my sword that it shall render vengeance and revenge, till thou, the lie giver, and that lie do lie in earth as quiet as thy father's skull. In proof whereof there is my honor's pawn. Engage it to the trial if thou darest.
How fondly dost thou spur a forward horse? Dare meet Surrey in the wilderness. There is my bond of faith, to tie thee to my strong correction. Aumerle is guilty, my true appeal. Besides, I heard the banished Duke of Norfolk say that thou, Aumerle, did send 2 of thy men to execute the noble Duke at Calais.
Some honest Christian trust me with a gage that Norfolk lies. Here I do throw down this, if he may be repealed to try his arm.
These differences shall all rest under gage till Norfolk be repealed. Repealed he shall be, and though mine enemy restored to all his lands and seigneuries. When he's returned, against Aumerle we will enforce his day of trial.
That honorable day shall ne'er be seen. Many a time hath banished Norfolk fought for Jesu Christ in glorious Christian field, and toiled with works of war, retired himself to Italy, and there at Venice gave his body to that pleasant country's earth, and his pure soul unto his captain Christ, under whose colors he had fought so long.
What, Bishop, is Norfolk dead?
As surely as I live, my lord.
Sweet soul, conduct your sweet peace to the bosom of good old Abraham. Lords, your differences shall all rest under gage till we assign you to your day of trial.
Great Duke of Lancaster, I come from plume-plucked Richard, who with willing soul adopts the heir, and his high scepter yields to the possession of thy royal hand. Ascend the throne, descending now from him, and long live Henry, fourth of that name.
In God's name, I'll ascend the regal throne.
Mary,
God forbid.
Lord, in his royal presence may I speak.
Yet best beseeming me to speak the truth. Would to God that any in this noble presence were enough noble to be upright judge of noble Richard. What subject can give sentence on his king? And who sits here that is not Richard's subject? Thieves are not judged, but they are by to hear, and shall the figure of God's majesty be judged by subject and inferior breath, and he himself not present? Oh, forfend it, God! I speak to subjects, and a subject speaks, stirred up by God, thus boldly for his king. My lord of Hereford here, whom you call king, is a foul traitor to crown Hereford's king, and if you crown him, let me prophesy. The blood of England shall manure the ground, and in this seat of peace tumultuous war shall kin with kin and kind with kind be found. Disorder, horror, fear, and mutiny shall here inhabit, and this land be called the land of Golgotha and dead men's skulls. Oh, if you raise this house against this house, it will the woefulest division prove that ever fell upon this cursed earth. Prevent it. Resist it. Let it not be so. Lest child's children, cry against you.
Well hast thou argued, sir, and for thy pains, of capital treason we arrest you here. My lord of York, be your charge to keep him safe until the day of trial. May it please you, lords, to grant the common suit.
Fetch hither Richard, that he may surrender in the common view and we proceed without suspicion.
I will be his conduct.
Lords, you that here are under our arrest, procure your sureties for your day of answer. Little are we looked for at your loves, and little beholden to your helping hands.